Hi everyone, I am Prachi Agarwal. Welcome to our channel Learn Competitive Programming with CodeChef. If you are interested in competitive programming and want to learn and master data structures and algorithms, then this is a one-stop destination for you. Every week we'll post CodeChef problem explanations, conceptual videos on various programming paradigms, and also conduct live problem-solving sessions. But before we actually get started, here's a reminder to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet already. Great. Now that you have subscribed, let's get started. Today we'll be solving the problem password, which is from the January Cook Off. It is a very simple cakewalk problem. So let us quickly not waste time and go to the problem statement. Now guys, as you all know that when we set up a password, then we want it to be secure. So in order to do that, we put certain conditions with our password, that our password should contain certain kinds of characters. Only then it will pass, it will be considered as secure. So that is what is exactly happening in this problem as well. Chef wants to create a password which is secure enough for his account. Now for that he has defined certain conditions. As you can see, 1 to 5 conditions are given to you, and we'll be given several strings. Then we will have to check that that string is secure or not. That means that string should pass all these 5 conditions in order to be called a secure password. So now let us see that what are these 5 conditions that we'll have to check and decide whether the password is secure or not. The first condition is that the password must contain at least one lowercase letter. So at least means that there can be one or more lowercase letters present in our password. That is not a problem, but the criteria for this condition to pass is that at least one lowercase must be present. Otherwise this condition will not be satisfied and the password will not be considered as secure. Now the second condition is just similar to the first condition, only the change is that there should be at least one uppercase letter. So as you all must also have observed when you type passwords that there are certain conditions there, that there should be lowercase characters, uppercase characters, digits, special characters. So the same kind of scenario is being followed here with just some minor changes. Now what is the second condition exactly? That at least one uppercase letter. So that is fine. That is just like the above condition. But something more is also given in this, that the uppercase letter must be present strictly inside for the condition to pass. Now this strictly inside means that this uppercase letter should be present between the first and the last character of the string. So if you have the first character of the string and the last character of the string, then in between these two characters your uppercase character must be present and at least one letter must be there. So it means that if you have just one letter, suppose in your string which is uppercase, then it should be present between the first and the last character of the string. If you have more than one, then you can have it anywhere, but at least one should be there in between the first and the last character. So this line does not mean that your first and last character cannot be uppercase. No, your first and last character can be anything. But it only means it is only putting a constraint on the between part of the string, that between the first and last character there has to be one uppercase character. Now we will go to the third condition. The third condition is just similar to the second condition. It says that there should be at least one digit present which is strictly inside. Again the same thing, the digit has to be present between the first and the last character of the string. The first and last characters can also be digits, that is fine, but they are not enough to satisfy this condition. One digit has to be there in between the first and last character, irrespective of the fact that your first and last character might also be a digit. Then again the fourth condition is that there should be at least one special character present from this particular set, and that should also be strictly inside. So I don't think that this line requires any further explanation, because it is just the same like we discussed for the second and the third condition. So out of these 5 characters, these special characters given to us, at least one must be present between the first and the last character of the string. The fifth condition is something to do with the length of the password, which is also a very important aspect of the password. So it is given that password must contain at least 10 characters in length, but it can be longer. It means that the length of the password should be greater than or equal to 10. It cannot be less than 10. Otherwise, the password will not be secure and it will not pass the condition. Now that we have discussed all the 5 conditions, I think the problem statement must be very clear to you what we are supposed to do. We are given these 5 conditions, and if all of the 5 conditions are satisfying, then we can say that our password is secure, and otherwise we will have to say that our password is not secure. So we will be given several strings which will be essentially passwords, and for each string separately we will check that whether it is a secure password or not based on these 5 conditions. So let us go to some of the examples and try to decide that this password is secure or it is not secure. So let us check for the first one. So as you can see that in the first example, the length of the password itself is not greater than or equal to 10. It is not even 10. So how can it pass any other condition if the length is only failing? So that is why this password will not be secure. Now let us come to the second password. In the second password, you can see this length of the password is greater than equal to 10. So that condition, it is satisfying. Now we will check for other conditions. The first condition was that the password should contain lowercase characters. So this password contains more than one lowercase character. So definitely that condition is satisfied. The next condition was it should have at least one uppercase character, but that uppercase character should be present in between the first and the last character. Is that condition satisfied here? Yes. We have A present here, which is in between the first and the last character. We have U also, but U is not enough to satisfy our condition because U is the first character and we do not need that. So this letter is satisfying our condition. Now again, after this, the third condition was that there should be at least one digit present, which should be between the first and the last character. So we have 1 and 2 present here. There are 2 digits present in between the first and last. So definitely that condition is also satisfied. The fourth condition is that there should be at least one special case character which should be present in between the first and the last character. So now you can see that this condition is also satisfied. We have @ present here. What were the special case characters that could have satisfied our condition? They were @ hash and percentile sign and a question mark. So out of these 5, if any one is present in between the first and last character, then our condition will be satisfied. So here you can see that all of our 5 conditions are being satisfied. So that is why this is a secure password. Now we will go to the third one. In the third, you can see that the string is definitely of more than 10 length. So that is fine. Then there is a lowercase character. Then there is an uppercase character also, which is in between the first and the last character. So that condition is satisfied. There is a number present, which is in between the first and last character. So again, that condition is also satisfied. Now what about the special case characters? You can see that special case characters are present in our password. The first character and the last character both are special characters. But the problem is that we need these special characters to be present in between the first and last character. But here we can see that in between there are no special case characters. So that is why this is not a secure password. So now you see what I meant, that irrespective of the fact that you have special case characters as the first and last character in your string, but still you're saying that no, this password will not be secure until and unless there is one special case character in between the first and last characters. Now we will go to the fourth one. So I'm sure that by just seeing you can tell that this password is secure enough. How? Because you can see that we have one lowercase character which is present as the last character. But if you remember that for lowercase character we do not have this condition that it has to be in between the first and last character. So it will be satisfied. Then we have a digit which is present in between the first and last character. We have a special case character, percentile sign, which is present in between the first and last character. And we have a lot of number of uppercase characters which are also present in between the first and last characters. So this will be satisfied. So how we will solve this problem? As you have seen that we just have 5 conditions and we need to check that if these 5 conditions are being satisfied or not. So how you can do that? Essentially you will have to iterate through each character of the string and then check whether that any character is satisfying any of these 5 conditions or not. And at last, if you have that all the 5 conditions are satisfied, then you can say that it is a secure password. So we will see that in the form of code, but first let us go to the input, output and constraints and also see what we exactly require in the code. So as you can see, the first line of input is always the number of test cases. Then we have a single line. After the test cases, for each test case we will have the single line of string which we will have to test that for the secure password. Then we have output. So for each test case we will have to print yes in case the password string is secure, otherwise we will print no as the answer. And the constraints are very low, so it should not be a problem because we will just have to iterate through each of the characters present in the string. And the maximum length of the string is given as 20 here. So the time complexity will be order of length of the string. So that will be the time complexity. It is maximum 20. So I think we are good to go. Now let us go to the code and understand the code line by line so that you will be able to understand how we are approaching this problem. So guys, this is the code. It is in Python. Now we will discuss line by line in order for you to understand that how we are getting to the solution of this problem. First line is just for the input. It is for the input for the number of test cases. Then we are running a loop. For each test case, we will have a string for which we will have to check whether it is a secure password or not. So that is why we are running a loop and we are taking input here for each of those strings. Now what are these two lines? So this line has 4 variables in it, that is L, U, N and SP. L is for the lowercase letters, U is for uppercase letters, N is for digits and SP is for the special case characters. Now initially all of these 4 variables are 0. That means that there are no any of these conditions are satisfied. But when it will become 1, when we will check in the string whether a lowercase is present, uppercase character is present, digit is present, special character is present, then in that case we are going to make it 1, which will tell us that our condition is satisfied. So initially we have kept it all 0. And we have another variable answer which initially stores no, means we are saying that initially we say that the password is not secure. And we will check if these 4 conditions will be satisfied at last, only then we will make our answer as yes, otherwise it will remain as no. Now after we have taken the input, we will enter into the main thing of our solution from this if condition. Now this if condition is checking whether the length of the password is greater than or equal to 10 or not, because we need that our password should be at least of 10 characters long or it can be more. So if this condition will be satisfied, only then it will enter and check for other conditions, otherwise our answer will remain no and it will directly go to the print statement and print the answer. That's it. So now suppose that our condition is satisfied, that means the length of the password is in fact more than 10 or at least 10, then in that case we are running a loop, because as I said that we will have to check for each character that is there any such character present which is satisfying any of these conditions. So we are running a loop up to the length of string s. It will run from 0 to less than string s. Then we will check for the lowercase. This line is checking that if s of I, it will check for each character is a lowercase character or not. Is lower is a function which is present by default in Python, which checks that if your character is a lowercase character or not. And if so, then in that case you are making n equals to 1, which means that this condition is satisfied. Now after this we are checking that if I is greater than 0 and I is less than length of s minus 1. Why are we doing this? Because for all the other conditions we needed that those things should be present in between the first and the last character. What were those? Like for the digits, for uppercase character, and also for the special characters, we needed that they have to be present between the first and the last character of the string. So for the first and last character, we don't have to check this condition, because even if we check, then we cannot say that it is satisfying the condition, or we cannot say that our password is secure. That is why we are making a check here, that whenever the index is greater than 0 means whenever it is pointing to the first character or more than that, and it is pointing to the second last character or less than that. Only then in that case we will check these conditions. Then this condition is checking for the uppercase character. As the name is clear to you, is upper is again a function which checks whether the character is in uppercase or not. Then this condition is checking for the digit. Digit is a function which checks that whether a particular string is a digit or not. So suppose like if you have something like this, then it will check that whether this string is a digit or not. And in both these cases, if the condition is satisfied, then we will make u equals to 1 for the uppercase letter and n equals to 1 for the digit. Then this last condition is, it is checking if there is a special case character present or not. So for each character we have specified different checks, like if s of I is equal @ or s of I is equal percentile sign. So even if one of this is true, then we will make sp equals to 1, means the special character condition is also satisfied. Now after coming out of this loop, we will come to know that which are the conditions which have been satisfied, because we will get the values from here. We are making L, U, N and SP1 in case we are getting such a character which is satisfying our condition. So now we will just check L and U and N and SP, which means that if L is equals to 1, U is equals to 1, N is equals to 1 and SP is equals to 1, all of these are 1, in that case the answer should be yes. That means our password is secure. Otherwise, we already know that our password is not secure, because initially in the answer we already stored no. So we will directly print the answer. Guys, now that we are done with the code, let us also submit the code and check whether it is giving the correct answer or not. So meanwhile the submission is done, I'm sure that this was a very simple problem and you all were able to solve it even with or without help. But this is just one problem. This is just the beginning. What about some difficult problems that you are not able to solve? So by watching just one video specific to a problem, you will not be able to enhance your coding. It can only be done when you study some programming specific concepts. So for that, did you all know that CodeChef conducts so many of the live classes on an academy platform where we cover each and every topic related with competitive programming? It's like a great hub there where you can go and find everything, all the conceptual things. There are micro courses related to even IOI, ICPC. So it's like an entire collection of all the stuff related to competitive programming that you'll ever need. And you will not even have to waste a single amount of your time on searching for things, which you, I think, always do. So just what you have to do is download the Unacademy app, register there, and for registering you can use my coupon code, which is Prachi16, Prachi16, and there you will find a variety of courses which are taken by the top educators. Just go and try it out because it is all free for you. And when you like that, if you think that it is helping you, then you can definitely go for the Unacademy Plus subscription, which is more structured, which will help you more. There will be mentoring sessions there, so you can just attend that and enhance yourself as a competitive programmer.